All right, first thing you're gonna want to do is remove your SD card and your SIM card out of the slot, because we don't want to introduce heat unnecessarily to these two cards. Everything you do, guys, with this, you want to do it slow and just not force it. That's how you start tearing it up, and you will not have a working phone. Now, I will have to say, I think when we get done, it'll still be water resistant, but I would not trust any type of waterproof after we open this up. Trying to get my suction cup very close to the edge so it can really. Okay, glue is not loose enough. Alright guys, so I barely just started getting it off, and I mean, you got to get the phone surprisingly hot, but to get this glue to start giving. But got to the point I needed a glove over here. This phone is very hot, but still don't go too fast. Don't put your heat gun on high, you're gonna have a problem. But so once you start getting it pulled out, you can use a pry device to start working your way through, and it'd be good to have multiple pry devices. So remember guys, this is glass. If you pry too much too fast, you're just gonna break the whole thing. So as you can see, kind of started here, took both devices, kind of came out this way, and I'm just gonna keep going up, but we want to keep getting it hot. Might be able to kind of see. But they use some kind of glue on this thing. Alright, when you find yourself getting into greater resistance, just go with the heat again. So you might get tempted to just pull it off from here, but you gotta remember it's glass and it will break. So you're gonna wanna just be patient and keep prying all the way down. Alright, so here we go guys. It's coming off. So you can see we still got some glue here. I'm just gonna kind of release that glue. There's quite a bit of glue in this area that I don't want to give yet. And I don't want to use too much pressure. Be mindful, the fingerprint reader, it plugs in here, but it pops straight up. So if you're pulling out, you'll be pretty good. You'll be all right with it. All right. So here we go. We got the back cover off, but we are far from done. Now luckily, we only have to pull off the back. If you needed to put a new screen on, you'd have to take the back and the front off. So luckily, we don't have to do the front. Okay, I'll take my tiny screwdriver. I don't know what kind of size this is. It says 1.5 on here. I'm gonna go ahead and magnetize it. Just start taking these out of here. Like I said, guys, you just gotta be patient. This will not be a fast job that you can do really fast. And if I was really thinking, I'd have got a new battery for this phone. It's not terrible, but I had it almost 2 years, and I can't tell the difference. It definitely loses its charge faster. So it would have been a good time to go ahead and change out this battery. I believe it's like 16 screws you've got to take out initially. Something like that. I'm going to be trying to take off the wireless charging coil. And guys, you wanna just be patient. Not get too forceful with anything. See, I missed the screw right there. See, that's why you don't want to get too forceful, because you just to go yanking, you probably break something. Now I need to get this bottom part off. You can see that it comes right off like that. So guys, I took my battery all the way out. You don't need to do that for this procedure. But you do have to unplug it, so the little flex cable on top on the upper left hand side, like I did. It's another good part about having your screwdriver magnetized. I just dropped it and it was so little I couldn't get it with my finger, so I just picked it up. Let's see, so I can hold this. Looking really closely, looking for any screws I might have missed. So I don't see any right now. So I'm gonna go through. We're gonna undo the rest of these ribbon cables or flex cables. You can see most of them, they just all pop up like this. This is the front facing camera. As you can see, it comes completely out. So don't lose that. I think the other one's front facing sensor. Yeah, this is the actual camera. So two. Another one right here. Alright, I think got all of them. So this area right here is where the motherboard is connected to this daughter board. So I'm just gonna pry, go ahead and disconnect. And as you can see, the motherboard comes out pretty easily. Yep. So it comes out clean. So right there is where, let's see, yeah, right here is where it's plugged in to the daughter board there. Here's my original piece in here. You can see the label, model number and everything. Now here's my new piece. As you can see, the label is essentially the same, and this is actually the second part I had to buy. The first part I put in here, the phone powered up, it took a charge with the charging port here, but I couldn't connect to the cellular towers. And at first I thought maybe I broke the phone, but I put my original piece, which is this one, back in, and everything worked except my charging port. So I looked online on the part that I had, and people were complaining about the radio inside of it didn't work, the cellular radio. So this little part, even though it's fairly cheap and it looks just like a little flimsy part, it's actually a very important part to the phone, because as you can see, these wires, these are actually radio antennas. Now one might be Wi-Fi, one might be cellular, but these wires connect the wireless data to the rest of the board here, but it starts down here. It starts down here, as you can see. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and unhook this one. Of course, you always want OEM, but who even knows? Maybe these people just did a really good job copying, or it's OEM spec, or it actually is OEM. I don't know how you could ever know that. It's not like you can call Samsung up and get one of these. But I will leave a link in the description to this particular one. Guys, if you're looking for a toolkit like this one, it's got everything you need for a job like this, and it was very cheap. I will leave a link in the description for this, or a toolkit that's very much like it, if you want to take advantage of that. So the little side is kind of stuck. Just get it out there. Now that piece comes out. And as we can compare, we can see they look pretty identical all the way around, which my part that didn't work that I bought, it did look identical other than this label. So who knows really what they're doing. The original one's got some markings on it. So let's put this thing in. So we just gotta pay attention to this right here. The motherboard has to plug into that. And that's gonna be the most important. I mean, all of it's important. You miss something, it's not gonna work. But you're definitely gonna wanna make sure this is well connected before you put all your screws back in and try to see if your phone is working. So this is the bottom side of the motherboard. As you can see, you got this right here, and that plugs into that right there. Now, I found it to be easiest to keep the motherboard free like this, get it plugged in, and once you have it plugged in, go ahead and set it down. So let me see if I can do this while keeping it in frame. So as you can see, when I lift up on the motherboard, it is connected. So we got a few areas, so we just want to make sure that the cables aren't getting pushed down in here. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is try to get everything plugged in that I need to at least get the phone to work and make sure that I am connected to cellular before I move on. So even this right here is an antenna connection. So you got these two and you got this one, all helping connect this daughter board to this main motherboard here. Hey guys, this video was running really long, so I went ahead and made a part 2. I will see you there on that video.